Hey, thank you for being a part of the weekly download. I really appreciate your support and participation. So today is the day that I'm going to unveil the new organizational changes that we've made to make the weekly download much easier for you to get what you need. Now, it used to just be, organized chronologically and you'd scroll to the bottom to get the latest one. But once you get to like 100 plus weekly downloads, you got to get a little more specific. So Jesse Zodiac Iller, our Ninja Support Specialist, has spent a lot of time and energy organizing it to make it real easy for you to get what you need. And if you come with me, we'll go down the rabbit hole into Screenshot World and I'll show you where everything is. Download, if you go into the library in the Producer Dojo and click on the weekly download, this is where you will go. And the weekly download has been organized in several ways because sometimes you want to just get the latest episodes, so you'd want to have them in chronological order. But other times, it's nice to have the weekly download of the most appropriate subject presented to you, organized by subject area. So when you first go in, if you've never gone through the weekly download, I recommend that you come to this Welcome to the Weekly Download section. And in this section, this is going to just give you the rundown of, how the weekly download works, how giving support works, how you can sign up for the live class, how you can access the green room community and start networking with some of your fellow dojo members. And, then there's, of course, this section here where you can find out about all of the other people's experience with the weekly download, and they'll be recommending some of their favorite episodes and stuff, because I could talk about the weekly download till I'm blue in the face, but what do the members say? What are the members like? Well, you can find that out in the last section, so don't skip that. Okay, so this is the onboarding area, and this is where you just get the lay of the land and learn how everything works, right? Then the next area down is beginner tutorials, and this area is really great for people who are still getting the hang of the workflow. They're still learning, how to make not just music in general, but specifically the music that they're interested in, right? So this is full of just incredibly valuable things especially for people who are starting out from scratch. But a lot of these fundamental first steps are valuable even if you are an expert already. So I recommend that everyone in the weekly download goes through these beginner tutorials. So for example, the first one is this guide to producing, and if you've ever seen my ill.Gates guide to producing, or my ill.Gates ill methodology, this set of notes is the set of notes that I based my first workshop on. That workshop was $50. I toured all around America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. I even did this workshop in Taiwan with a real-time Chinese translator. Like, this workshop is the workshop that started it all, and this PDF file is the PDF file that was the notes for that workshop. So that is just as fundamental as it gets. Everyone who goes in the weekly download should do that. Then you can also see here there's like the arrangement exercise, and this one is, I do this exercise all the time, and it basically shows you how to take an existing track that all you have is just the track. You don't have the project file, you don't have anything like that, and this will show you how to use empty MIDI clips to analyze what the composition is in that track, to analyze how the arrangement works, and to really understand how an artist that you love is structuring their music. And it's going to give you so much more insight than just from listening, because you're able to create like a mock-up in the sequencer and really see what that person's project file looked like, and really understand where they put which sounds and for which purpose. It is so valuable. So there's a bunch of other, there's book recommendations, there's white belt mindset, like this being teachable chapter. Like, all this stuff is just crucial. So whether you're a beginner or not, that is a very appropriate section to check out, but it's also exceedingly important if you are just starting out making music. Okay, so the third section down, this is all the episodes in chronological order, and when you click here, there's 132 weekly downloads at the time of the creation of this video. It's growing every week, and the weekly downloads just getting better and better. So, if you've already gone through the beginner sections, you've already gone through the onboarding steps, and you want the latest and greatest weekly downloads, well, they're all organized in chronological order, and you can get the latest and greatest right away. Or let's say you're working through the Phase 3 series. It's nice to have all of those videos in a row, right? So, that's where you get them all in chronological order. But the problem with chronological order is that there's a different subject each week for the weekly download, and a lot of these classes, I'm doing them in response to what people are asking for and what people need. So people need different things at different times, and there's not like a chronological flow through the different subject areas. Like, this week I'm doing one on chopping up breaks, which would go in the drums section and also probably in the workflow section, but there is no subject-oriented section in the chronological order. They just kind of come when they come. Occasionally I'll do, like with the Phase 3, those are all in a linear sequence, right? So it's nice to have them in a linear sequence sometimes, but most of the time you're going to want them organized by what the subject area is, and that's what the rest of these categories are. So all the weekly downloads on drums are all in this drums category. All of the weekly downloads on bass are all in this bass category. All of the weekly downloads on vocals, transitions, mixing and mastering, music theory, plugins, effects, racks, cool tricks, audio editing, samples, synthesizers and samplers, project files and templates, the purple cow, aka standing out, how to play live, how to run a music business, various selected private lessons that I've done with students that I felt are particularly relevant, all kinds of special guests, and then there's finishing tracks and sounding pros. So there's 3 pages and counting of these different subject areas, and if you or your sensei has highlighted an area that you can improve, they'll say, hey, you need to work on your bass sounds. Well, then you'd know to come to the weekly download on basses and click it and work your way through the weekly downloads that are about bass. That's how it's organized. You've got the onboarding steps at the beginning that everyone should do. You've got the beginner tutorials that everyone should do. Even if you're an advanced user, you should definitely do all the beginner stuff first, because there's a lot of fundamental shifts in thinking about these simpler, smaller concepts that, the tutorial might be a beginner tutorial, but because of the just fundamental shifts in thinking about the fundamentals, like, you can never be too good at the fundamentals. The fundamentals are a bottomless well. The more effort you put in, the better you get at the core of what's going to make your music better. So those beginner tutorials, yeah, it says beginner tutorials, but it is not just for beginners. Then after that, there's all the episodes in chronological order, and then after that, there are these 3 pages of different subjects that are all the weekly downloads are organized by subject. So I'm really proud of the team for going through all the time and energy to put together this system of organization. I feel it's really effective and really powerful. If you have any suggestions for how it could be improved, perhaps leave a comment on this video. But yeah, that's how the weekly download works. Welcome to the weekly download, and seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for supporting this project. This is it's a passion project, and I really just I want to help you make better music, and I want to help everyone just really get past the frustration and get to the point where they're getting results that they can be proud of, and they're really helping people with their music, not just making music that's like, hey, look, I'm cool, I can make music, making music that actually helps people through tough times and really counts with people. I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that future for all music lovers out there, and I don't get to do that without your support. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of everyone in the dojo, thank you for supporting this crazy project. Thank you for believing in us, and I'm going to do everything in my power to make the weekly download the best it can be and to never take your support for granted. So thank you so much, and please reach out to support at producerdojo.com if you have any account issues or billing issues or anything that you need to talk about. That's support at producerdojo.com. And then Jesse is our ninja support specialist. He's Jesse at producerdojo.com. He's also known as Zodiac Iller. He's been with me for years. He's a fantastic musician, a real sweetheart of a guy, and he understands everything about all the weekly downloads and all of the concepts in them. He knows. He's able to answer questions that are about the actual content in the weekly download. So if you have an account related issue, support at producerdojo.com. And if you want help understanding a certain subject area and you don't want to use the senseis for that, Jesse at producerdojo.com. He's our ninja support specialist. He can help you with like downloading them, installing them, understanding the concepts in them, because there is a ton of content. Like most people, if they're going to get caught up on the weekly download, it's like it takes years. So this is our attempt at making it more organized and more useful. I think it's fantastic. If you have any suggestions, just drop them in the comments of this video. If you have any support needs, it's account and order support is support at producerdojo.com. And then understanding it, working with the library, working with Ableton or whatever your DAW is, that's Jesse at producerdojo.com. All right, thank you so much, and I'm really happy to have you here to be part of the dojo. Many more weekly downloads to come. If you have any weekly download subject suggestions, you can either email support at producerdojo.com or Jesse at producerdojo.com, but I'm here. I'm listening to your suggestions. I'm making these things for you. So don't be a stranger. Maybe stop by the green room. There's always extra cool stuff in the green room, and that's up at the top here. You just click on the green room, and then this is our community area where you can get to know all the other ninjas. There's Jesse's the admin, and you can get to know all the other ninjas. There's often free cool downloads. I post tutorials here that I don't post anywhere else, and there's a lot going on in the green room. So get into the green room as well. All right, I think that's it for this video. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your support. I love you. The rest of the dojo loves you. And please enjoy the weekly download.